Hi, everyone. Welcome to the spring term, and special thanks to all of you who have been impacted by the fires for joining us. I was not expecting you all to be here, and I just want you to know that your presence is really valued and appreciated. This is the kickoff event for OFAR for the fifth year cohort. Um, and we are super excited for this next phase of our work together. All right, so today our agenda is going to be fairly lean because the second half of our time together is going to be spent with coaching connection. So you'll have an opportunity to get together with your coach. We're going to open up with just an intro to some spring events and go over our webinar schedule for the next month. And James is going to talk about our research activities. Okay. And thanks to all of our advisory coaches listed here. And shout out to all of you who are here in the room with us today: Marie-Thez, Jamie, Gayatri, Alan, Tyrone, Anna, Cindy, and Hosna. We couldn't do this without you. And our program team, my co-director here, James, Liz, our CCCOER manager, that's a typo I gotta fix, Joy and Kim, our course developers, and of course, again, Marie-Thez, who is our lead coach. Okay, spring activities for OFAR. So things changed a bunch in the spring. So last semester in the fall, everything was facilitated in Canvas, and you interacted with coaches and course developers facilitators in your Canvas course. For this second half of the OFAR year, we're switching to monthly webinars. So you'll be expected to come to these monthly webinars. This technically isn't a webinar, it's a kickoff event, just getting your oils wheeled for what's ahead. And we'll talk about the webinars in just a second. You will have spring reflections due in Canvas, and those are due on February 14th, March 28th, and May 30th. Team leaders, please reach out to your administrator and let them know that they are warmly welcome to any of our webinars, particularly the showcase, which is coming up at the end of this year. And James will talk a little bit more about some of the research activities that will involve your administrator in just a few minutes. We do have this thing coming up called an unwebinar on April 4th. This is not required, but it's highly recommended. This is a really lightly facilitated community of practice that we offer up to you. You'll be divided up in teams loosely based on your discipline. So you'll have an opportunity to converse with people from different colleges about how you're implementing your action plan within your given disciplines. And we tried this out last year and everybody really loved it. It was nice to connect with people outside of your team. You'll also have monthly team meetings with your coaches, and I'm sure some of you have already set a schedule for those, but if you have not, the second half of this get together will be dedicated to kind of working some of that out. Research activities start in April and May. Our P group will start to get in touch with people to start getting the ball rolling on that. And team showcases. Team showcases are your final big project for OFAR, where teams collectively get together to create a presentation about what they did in their courses in the spring. And that takes place on June 13th. It's an hour-and-a-half session. You're invited, your administrators are invited. We will send out an invitation. It is a lot of fun. We will give you some details about the schedule and, kind of the nuts and bolts and the logistics of how that's going to work via Zoom. And of course, if you have questions about OER, search and formatting, and you need to set up some individual or team consulting time, please contact oer@canyons.edu to set up an appointment. Oh, what happened here? Oh, something's wrong here. That's not good. Oh,
It's a nice message, though.
yeah, nothing's wrong here. All right. Oh, huh. That's funny. Let's try this way. Okay. Okay, here we go. Phew. All right, so spring calendar, you all have this available to you, but here it is again. You can take a photo and scan the QR code here for the full schedule. Some items on the schedule have not been filled out yet. We're waiting for some verbiage from our presenters, but not to worry, the dates are all settled. Your next webinar is going to be as early as next week, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, next week, on strategies for advocating for students and transformative pedagogies with our coach, Dr. Jamie Thomas. On February 14th, your first OFAR reflection is due in Canvas. And on February 21st, we are hosting a webinar on Indigenous knowledge and OER.
Okay, so our first formal webinar next week, next Friday, you really, really, really don't want to miss. Not only is it, a required part of the program, but I can't overstate how just fantastic, spellbinding, and enlightening our friend and colleague Jamie Thomas is. She's facilitated a version of this webinar for us many times now, and she changes it up and evolves it every year. It's really worth it to come. She really zeroes in on the question at the bottom of that first paragraph. Do you teach anti-racism, or do you teach your discipline in an anti-racist way? And what does that mean? How do you engage with your students? How do you respond to questions? How do you respond to challenges? So that you're still moving students forward in your discipline, but also to be anti-racist or thinking in an anti-racist way. You don't want to miss this. You see there in that second paragraph the many accomplishments of our friend Jamie. She's done it all, and she still comes back to us as an OFAR coach. We're so grateful for that. So next slide, please. Drilling into a bit on Laura's preface about changing the focus here in the spring. I just want to drill in on that. As Laura mentioned, in the fall, of course, your primary activity was in the Canvas course, interacting with our facilitators, interacting with one another, having some light interactions with your coaches. This spring, you're really changing the focus to implementing your action plans. More of the time, you're going to be working alone, really on your classes, going back to that action plan that you crafted in the fall when your mind was really in learning about open pedagogy and anti-racist pedagogy. You made a great plan. Now's your chance to implement it. And as Laura mentioned, with the spring activities, there are some activities that you're going to do together, like your final showcase. That's going to be a team event. But overall, the reflections in the spring that are due in Canvas, those are individual. And of course, implementing your action plan is going to be in your individual classroom. So other spring activities, ongoing coaching, starting today at the end of this session, you're going to meet with your coach. So please do, team leads, please do take a lead role there to make sure that everybody's got got the time scheduled for the spring to meet with the coach once a month as a team. Of course, if you want to meet individually with the coach, that's an option. You all work out your schedules. But then another new activity in the spring is the research. We really focus on the research around the OFAR program, generally documenting the impact that you all are having on your students and your institutions. So we will send lots of reminders. I'll send a lot of reminders to you, but here's a quick overview. First of all, we will send to you a link and some verbiage to share with your students in the class in which you're implementing your OFAR change. If you decide, you've already let us know with your application which course you're going to use for your OFAR change, your OFAR action plan. If that has changed or evolves, please let us know, because that has a direct impact on our research. So again, if you told us in your application you're going to be implementing in History 1, but you changed to History 3, please let us know, because again, we need to know that specific information for our research. But we'll ask you to distribute a survey to your students. we'll ask you also to distribute oh, thank you, Haley. You can just pop me an email. Yeah, just pop me an email, or me and Laura. Make sure you always copy the both of us. We'll also ask you to share with your administrator a link to a survey specifically for administrators, basically asking, are you aware of what the OFAR team is doing? Do you support what the OFAR team is doing? How does this tie into your institutional goals, your strategic goals, etc.? Then there will be an opportunity for some of you, one from each team, to participate in an interview. So we're doing that qualitative research in addition to the quantitative research. So there will be an 45 minutes to an hour long interview in the spring for some of you. There's a faculty post survey at the very end. Back in the Canvas course, you did the pre-survey at the beginning. We'll do a post survey at the end of course. And then we will ask you to share with us in the Canvas course, to share with us some sample assignments from your course in which you're implementing your change service. So we'll send out lots more details, lots more reminders, but we just want to get that on your radar because we do really take pride in the impact that OFAR has on students and institutions, and we want to keep documenting that.
James, I have a question.
Yes.
So who should they expect to get an email from in regard to scheduling interviews? How will they receive the surveys and all of that?
Yeah. Thank you, Laura. So I will be the primary point of contact with that. All of this comes from our very good partners at the RP group who do the research and evaluation for us. They develop the surveys. They analyze the surveys. We don't see anything. We don't see your responses. We don't know, we see the global results, the analysis, but we don't know what individual or what college responded in what way. But I'll be the primary point of contact. You'll get emails from me on a regular basis saying, hey, it's time for this student survey. Please use the text below. Please share the link below. And then a week later, I'll follow up. Hey, here's a nudge. Here's a reminder. Please send that out. Same thing with the interviews. I will, for those of when it's time to select folks for the interview, you'll receive an email from me asking who's interested. And then I'll be the introducer to the colleague from the RP group who will do the interview with you. So always be on the lookout for an email from me around the research activities. Thanks for clarifying.
Thanks, James.
And then as always, we want to be sure that you have access to the information about the program in multiple different ways. If you have questions about billing or missing a webinar, all that information is under the program FAQs, which you can see at that URL and at the QR code there in the middle of the screen. So we hope there are lots of different ways for you all to get this information. Next slide. So again, a reminder of communication and support. Yes, Julie, yes, we'll definitely send out this or send out the recording of this session today. Is that right, Laura?
Yes, I'll be sending out a recording, and I definitely will also be highlighting certain things that James has brought up, such as, reminding you to let us know about changes to your spring schedule. So you'll have the recording and then you'll have my notes along with that.
Thanks, Laura. And back to the communication and support slide. If you haven't, please double check your email settings. Because we send OFAR information to all of you, sometimes spam folders grab those and don't let those messages through to you. So just double check that your email settings permit emails from OFAR. Also, if you have questions about the course, the course is done, but if you have questions specific to the course material, always reach out to Joy and Kim in Marites. If you have questions about inspiration or challenges that you're facing in moving forward this semester, implementing your action plan, your coach is the best contact. If you have questions about contracts or invoicing, Laura is the best contact at College of the Canyons, where Joy and I both are. You can get support with finding materials, searching for OER, accessibility checks, formatting, et cetera, questions about licensing, just pop an email to oer@canyons.edu. To be on the safe side, copy me. That's just safer so that we're sure that our staff is responding. Or that they know, that they should respond to a non-College of the Canyons colleague. And then any other questions, hit up Laura, and it's always good idea to copy me as well. Just, copy both of us, and one of us will be sure to get back to you.
All right, folks. So we'd love it if you would stay in the loop with CCC OER. If you haven't already, you can check up a bunch of upcoming conferences. If you go to the website under the Get Involved menu, that website is cccoer.org, and you can join our community email by adding a /community-email to that website. We also post EDI blogs from time to time and share with our communities student OER impact stories, also available on our website. We would love it if you would let us know how we do. We actually take your feedback very, very seriously. And feedback from you always leads to what we hope are positive changes the next time. So if you, or tell us we're great. We love positive feedback too. So anything you want to tell us, you can go ahead and scan that QR code and take like a super duper short survey. If you haven't been hit with enough surveys yet, there's one more. Oh, what is going on, folks? Hi, all right.
Well, you win for the number of tabs you got open, I think, Laura.
I don't know. I think some people could have me beat. I've spied some pretty intense tab open desktop.
And Shara mentions the survey needs request access. Uh-oh.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll change it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for letting us know, Kiara. Yeah, there
I
is like a
just,
little, go ahead.
Hi, Laura and James. This is Maritez. I just wanted to make one quick announcement before we move into our breakout rooms. And welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful winter break, and I'm really looking forward to 2025 and the spring semester when as we move into the implementation phase. Um, so we did say a lot about, if you miss a webinar, make sure you do this. But I just also wanted to remind you that if you needed to miss one of your coaching team meetings, to please communicate that with your team lead and your coaches, because coaches are keeping attendance at, who's coming and attending those monthly meetings. So just be in communication if something comes up and you need to miss one, and so that you can also be caught up. So just wanted to remind everyone about that. Thanks.
Thank you, Maritez. That's a good reminder. Appreciate that. Okay, so without further ado, we will get into our breakout rooms. So I have the breakout rooms pre-organized, so you will all just blast off into your rooms. Now, the caveat with this is that if you are not logged in using your institutional email address or whatever email address you gave me when you signed up, you will not be in a room. So it'd be a good idea if you can maybe screenshot this or I'll put it back up. I think I've got to get out of the screen share before I take you into your rooms, and then I'll see about putting it back up. Coaches also, I tried to put you in rooms, but in case you do not make it into your rooms, this is the lineup for our rooms.
And if
So